welcome back to the village. Today we're out here in the alley. Gonna be working on getting holes dug in this angle in the ground. We're gonna mount the solar panel that I have. It's gonna feed to the shed. It's just a 200 watt monocrystalline new power solar panel, aluminum frame. I still have in the box. I'd bring it out, but I'm not gonna put it out today, so I didn't want to unbox it. So I'm going to create a mount out here. It's just going to be two pieces angle in the ground. I'm going to dig holes and put a little quickcrete. I'm going to drive them into the ground, but since it's clay, I just want to get something there to hold it a little bit as it, clay contracts as it gets wet and dry. So dig a couple holes. We're going to mount this kind of an angle like this, because I'm going to create it so the panel hangs in between here on a piece of all thread rod and have the ability to tilt it. I won't be able to move this way, but I am going to angle it again, because here where I'm at, this is west, this is south. So this is great this time of year, but you always want to have your sun making the most straight contact to your panel. So I'm going to mount it a little like this, so this way as the sun heads south for the winter time, I can still get a pretty good angle on the light coming into the panel. And I'll have the ability to take the panel the way I'm going to mount it on there. Again, like I said, it's going to go between here, and it's going to have the panel in here like this, and I'll be able to tilt the panel this way. I have an app I'll show you I have on my phone, and you can take the actual app and lay it on the panel, and then you can adjust it, and it'll tell you where it is to be the perfect angle to get the most sun to your to the panel, the most direct line. And that way, the more direct line, the more power you're going on that panel. Most of your solar panels, like the one I have, are anywhere from 20 to 23% efficient. I mean, that's the best. So you want to have the maximum amount of light in a direction, in the straight direction of that panel to make sure you maximize it. I was going to originally build a system in there. I still am going to, with batteries and an inverter, charge controller, so forth. Just things never work out, get to it, too much other things go on. So what I do have is I have a I'll go over and show you. I have an EcoFlow River Pro 2, which is a lithium iron phosphate power generator. You can charge it via the sun, you can charge it via the plug in your house, you can charge your lighter in your car. There's different ways you can charge it. So what we're going to do is we're going to set it up out here. It's going to set in my shed, and this is going to come here. It's going to be set up. I'm going to have a line I'm going to feed in here, an extension that's going to go into my shed, and that's what's going to charge that River Pro up. It's about 800 watt with a max with a surge to about 1,000 watts on it. I'll go over the details on it later on. I'm not sponsored by them, just to give you an idea what it is. A really good unit. I think some of the best on the market right now. But that's just it doesn't have to run much. All I have in there is like a treadmill, a fluorescent light, TV, a speaker, a couple fans. So that's all I'm running. Really low power consumption, so it's easily run all that. And then I'm going to take and mount all my, I'm going to bring out and mount a thing out there with all my batteries, for like my chainsaw, my weed eater, stuff like that, blower. So I'm going to put that out there, and that will also charge that. It's pretty nice too, because once you have it plugged in, the panel plugged into it, you don't have to screw with it. It's the sun hits that panel tomorrow and starts hitting it efficiently. It turns that thing on. You don't have it turn on. It stays like in a sleep standby mode where it doesn't consume barely any power. It'll go on and start charging. So it's kind of nice because you don't have to mess with it. But again, we'll go over that and everything. Today we're just going to measure this out, dig these holes, get this mounted in the ground, like I said, probably in about that kind of angle. This way, we're going to maximize, the way the sun's hitting it. And again, I was going to make it so it went this way as long as tilted, but the complexity of it, I'm like, it's not worth it for what the little bit you would gain with it. So again, we'll just do the angle, leave it at the ability to tilt, and I'll get that app when I get done with the video at the end. This will be a couple parts. I will put in that app and show you what that app is, so you can download it if you want to and try it out. It's really nice because you can just put it on the panel, tilts the panel, it's going to tell you right where it's at, where it's going to maximize it. Lock your panel down, boom. So in this where we live up here in Nebraska, you probably have to move the panel you know, 2 times a year minimum. I would say 4 times to maximize where you're at on angle with the sun. So we'll go over that later on too. So let me go get the shovel. I'm gonna get the quick crete and a couple of buckets, and we'll get this set up and get going and get this put in the ground. Okay, we're back here to kind of see what we got going here. I got these cut down to 6 foot, driven in the ground about 18 inches on both sides, a little different. I'll come back and even those up. It's fairly straight. I don't really care if it's perfectly level. These are fairly straight as can be. I've taken the holes and dug them down probably about 14 inches, and then just mixed up some of the Quikrete, threw that in there. I drove them into the ground, and then the hole itself is probably about 14 inches deep, so it's going to give a little bit more stability. Actually, this is how my all-thread rod's going to go through. There'll also be pieces of this mounted on the back of my panel, which will run through this, and you'll see when we put it together, it's going to have a washer and nut on each side, and that's going to give you the ability to take and tighten it or loosen it. So in turn, you can tilt the panel, tighten it in place, and that's going to give you your ability to move to maximize your sun angle on the panel. And as you can see, I kind of got it tilted this way. You know, I won't get the 100% this way. I won't get 100% that way when it's in the south, but it's going to give me the best, I think, of both worlds. And you know, with that tilt back and forth. So that's pretty much it for now. We'll let this set up. Might do it tomorrow. I don't know. Might have to wait till next weekend before we come back, and we'll finish up and put the panel on and everything. I'm going to try to get the extension wire ordered. I'm probably going to run it in some conduit or some PVC, the line running into the shed. This area we have a lot of ground squirrels. They like to gnaw on everything. The wire is perfectly fine with the sun, the rain, everything like that, but little rodents are real good at gnawing on stuff, so I'm probably going to run it across off the panel and down, probably dig a little trough along the fence, and then run it across and up into the shed, just to protect it a little bit. So that's basically what we got going on. I mean, this will harden up quick. It's Quikrete, but I'd rather just let it sit overnight and see about doing it later, finishing up to make sure it's good and solid. So that's it for today. So join for part 2 there, and we'll finish this thing up and show you how it's going to work. Hey folks, back out here at the shed today. This is my panel that we'll be mounting on the frame we put together outside in the alley. This is a New Power brand. They're made in Vietnam. It's a 200 watt monocrystalline panel. Pretty nice. They come with a full aluminum frame. Pretty nicely put together. Pretty sturdy, nice heavy duty. This is the back side. This is the controller for it. These are MC4 connectors. They're a waterproof connector, probably the most widely used connector of all the connectors. So it's just as simple as just plug and play on these. And you can run them single like I'm going to run them. You can run them as series, parallel, depending on what you're working with and what kind of voltage you're working with. So we're just going to put this guy together with these angle iron on here like this. And we're going to put one on each side, and that's what's going to mount off there on that all-thread rod going across to give it that ability to tilt. So I've cut one of these to I've cut 2 of these to 36. This is the one I went in and threw it on to see what it looks like. I'm just putting it on with a nut and a bolt with a lock washer just to keep it so it doesn't get loose, and that way I can just tighten it with a wrench so it's nice and snug on there. So I'm going to get that other one. We'll go ahead and put that on there. Unfortunately, the one hole when it doesn't line up correctly on here, so I'm drilling my own hole in there carefully, so I can have 3 nuts and bolts in there to just get it nice and sturdy. So let me go lean this up here, and we'll get that one lined up, and we'll put that one on too. Okay, we got both of our pieces here on the back snugged up. So now we're going to take this out to the alley, and we're going to show you how we're going to put it on the brace out there and set it up, hoping that it's a lot heavier than I thought it was, so I hope it's not too heavy for that rod. We might have to brace that a little differently, I'm not sure. We'll take it out there and see what we got. So what we got here is we have got some fender washers and some lock washers and nuts. So what we're going to do is we're going to put that on here. They're going to go on the outside, the inside of these to give us that ability to tighten them down. Lock washer will allow you to snug it down and keep it in place. That'll give us that ability to tilt. So now the fun part, trying to get the threaded rod through this and onto here with one person. I got it through and through the braces, but my problem I'm running into is this angle sits about a 1/4 inch off the edge. So in turn, when it tilts, the frame's catching on this. So what I think I'm gonna do is I think I have enough space, maybe not. I may have to just bend the pulls out a little bit and stick an extra washer in between, a nut in between. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do because washers aren't gonna get enough clearance. I think it'll just have to be the nut. I'm gonna go look and see if I have some thicker washers because I don't want the nut on there because that's gonna have threads and that's gonna move with the rod. I don't want that to move. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna go see if I got some bigger, some more big washer, like fender type washers. And I think what we're gonna do is end up putting a couple of those in there to get that clearance so we can clear this. Because it's great if it tilts this way, but that's not going to do as much good since it's not facing the sun. So let me go out there and check in my hardware and see if I got some. I'll be right back. This is basically how it worked out. I stacked 4 washers in here, lock washer, nut on the inside, outside, another washer, a nut, same thing on the other side. That gives us our adjustment in there. 1 wrench on the outside nut, 1 on the inside, tighten it down. That gives your firmness on where you want to keep the panel. And it's kind of what it looks like, all thread rod. So again, our angle. Unfortunately, I did have to come back here and drill the 1 hole out because it didn't line up, so I did drill my own hole. But I have 3 in there, so it's got good hold on the panel. Well, that's pretty much it. You don't think this panel works good, man. This thing is almost too hot to touch right now. And you can see where we located it. I got probably 80% of the panel getting sun on it right now, so that's what we want. Okay, stop filming it. Sorry about that. I'm trying to mess with this. Basically, I'm gonna have to cut these off. I really think these should have been a little heavier gauge. It's got a little play in it. I don't think it's too bad. And what I end up having to do here is instead of putting 2 washers in, I put in 4. It gives me the clearance here so we can tilt. So that worked out pretty good, not as good as I thought it would. But still, it's gonna have that ability, you know, where you can take it and bend it, tilt it to the angle you want it to be. And you take 2 wrenches and just loosen or tighten that, you know. I got it tight enough now, I can just turn it like this. That way we can maximize the sun hitting it. I do have it quite a bit off the ground, again, because it is Nebraska. It does snow a crap load. That could get as high as that panel. So I wanted to have some clearance there so I wouldn't get it blocked by snow if the case. Again, this is a new power 200 watt monocrystalline panel. This is an older panel. It's a 5 bus bar, and bus bars are these little silver things you see here. The more bus bars, the more efficient it is. This is still pretty efficient for what I paid for it. I think I paid 180 bucks for it. You can get the newer 9 bus bar type, which is a lot more efficient. Right now they have them on sale for about what I paid for this. Price has been coming down quite a bit on them. A lot of people like to buy the American made. They say they're better quality, more efficient. Then in turn you're paying about 30% more in price. So for the little bit of efficiency you increase, for me, I don't understand how the price warrants that small increase in efficiency. Again, it's pretty nice built. Again, we're going to take this later on with the connectors here, and we're going to run that down. I'll take it over and connect it to the side here, one of these guys, and we'll run it down. We'll use the PVC or some conduit. Again, here in Nebraska, we have a lot of ground squirrels, and ground squirrels are real good at gnawing on stuff, and a lot of squirrels too. So just to keep that from happening, I'm just going to run it across over to the fence there. I don't know if you can see the fence. Over to the fence here. So I'll run it down and over to the fence and down along that fence line, and then it'll come across down there, and you kind of see the shed back behind here. So somewhere in here we'll run it across and then up into the shed, and that's where I'm going to set up my little station with my River Pro. Again, a solar generator. It's an EcoFlow 800 watt Surge 1000. It's a iron phosphate type battery. It's nice. It's got a pure sine wave inverter in there, so it's just like running power in your house. You can run anything off it, you know, and within that wattage range. Again, I'm probably, what I have set up in the shed, what I'm going to be putting on here, even with the batteries I'm going to be charging, I might be pulling 200 watts total. So, and the nice thing about it too, like I was saying before, once it's connected to the River Pro, once sun hits this in the morning, it'll come out of standby and start charging, so you don't have to go out there and physically do it. But you could, because it has a Bluetooth app, you can look at your phone and run it right from your phone in the house, so you don't have to be next to it too. So it gives you that flexibility to see what's going on. Not bad. If you do go out and buy mounts for a panel, single panel, you're running anywhere from 200 to 250 for a mount, an adjustable mount, that is. This alone, I probably have, I had to quick creep, but I mean, even if I factored that in, with the iron and this, I probably have 50 bucks in this. When I bought it, 50 bucks, probably now current price 70. But nonetheless, fairly inexpensive. I think the only thing I would be doing different is this has got a little play in it, because I went with a lighter gauge. I would go with a heavier gauge angle. I think it'll be all right. We'll see, because it gets pretty windy here. That's one with a big determination. I think it's just going to move a little bit, as long as it has some play in it. I think it'll be all right, but we'll take a look at it and see how it is, you know, when it gets those windy days, because it can get pretty windy here. I mean, nothing for us to get 50-mile-an-hour winds, so hopefully that'll be all right. And again, like I said, it's in an angle this way, because this is west for me and that is south. This is probably not the perfect angle for summertime, but that's not, and it's not the perfect angle for wintertime, but it's the kind of the mix that's going to be the best. And I'll put that link down below. I don't have my phone on me. I'll show you the app. I'll put it on. I'll make a little piece in with it. You actually just take your phone and lay it on the panel, and then you tilt the panel, and it'll show you what the optimum angle is. So that way you lock it in at that angle, and you're getting that straight, the best straightest ray onto the thing in the straightest angle. So that makes your maximum charging. And that's the big thing. You want to have it the straightest. You know, this is all right, this is all right, this is best. So that's why I just wanted to, I was going to make it so it went the other way, but as long as I can do this and tilt it to keep the sun hitting it maxed out, that's what the key is. So I think that was pretty good. I didn't film, sorry about that. I turned it off because I was trying to get that 2 hands and try to get these back in here was not the easiest thing in the world. But and later on I'll shoot the other video. I don't know if I'll make it a part 2 or something, or just say just wiring in or something. I don't know, we'll just call it that. I still haven't got my extension yet, and I haven't got the PVC or conduit, but I have to get both of those. So we'll make that on another video. And then on that same video, when I do hook it up, I'll show you guys the River Pro and show you how that works and what that looks like. Pretty neat little thing. I don't have a sponsor, which I did. I think it's probably the best for what you pay for it on the market right now. EcoFlow makes some of the best. And for panel wise, I think these are one of the better panels you can get out there for the price. You can get some cheaper ones, but they're not going to have the nice frames and all pre-drilled and everything. So that's just my opinion, but I really like these, and they run sales all the time, so you can always get deals on them. That's pretty much it, folks. If you liked the video, you know, feel free to give me a thumbs up down there and a like. Those thumbs up help a lot. If you like the channel, hit that subscribe button. That way, you know, more subscribers the better. Hit the notifications bell down there on the bottom. That'll tell you when I post something, so you know when that something came up and go check it out. you do have any questions or ideas or anything, leave them down below. I look at all the comments and everything, try to respond to the comments. We're here to learn from each other. I don't know everything about solar. I know quite a bit, but I'm always learning more and more. So later on we will, I don't know if it's gonna be this year, I want to build an old system in there with a separate inverter, a couple batteries and stuff to have it where it can hold a charge where even if it's not a sunny day, you have charge in a battery, but you can still run stuff. So that's the ultimate goal. And but that'll be down the road, and we'll show you how to set that up. It's pretty easy. It's not as difficult as you think. And that'll involve later on coming out here and expanding this to a second panel. So it can have, I want to double it to make it 400 watts, just have a little more efficiency. The Eco Flow River Pro will, with this panel, if I got good sun on it, I can probably charge that thing from 0 to 100% in probably 6 hours. So it really takes a charge really quick and nice. So that's about it, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Mosquitoes are making lunch out of me. Thanks for tuning in. Come back and check us out, and thanks for joining. Have a good day. Hey folks, I just wanted to add this on. I talked about using the app that I put on here to use. Let me get back to this. It's called Optimal Tilt. And basically what it does is you go into the app and you go to the GPS and the map settings, and you put in, to use GPS, and it'll give you the coordinates, you know, where you're at, and it'll give you an angle of what you want to set your panel at. So mine's 34 point, hang on a second, 34.2. So then on the app, you're going to see, I'll list it down below so you can go download it and look at it. You'll see you go to the hamburger up here, and then you go up to altimeter. Easy for me to say. Inclinometer is what they call it. And basically what you're going to see is on the screen, I don't know if you can see that, it's going to list the degrees. So then you come and place that on your panel, and then you tilt your panel to where you want it. Which I don't think that could be right. And once you hit like mine's 34, which unfortunately with the close to the fence I can't quite get there, so I'm going to get it as close as I can, and that's going to optimize your angle where the sun's at. Just what happens where it be right now, that's probably the best angle, but I really want to go up a little bit more, but that's the most I can go because I'm close to my fence. But that's going to make sure that the sun coming is making the most direct contact with your panel. You get to the highest amount of charge coming in, and right now my panel's in probably 85% of the sun, so this is going to give me the, you know, a good amount of charge coming in. I'm probably going to be about 88% of what it should bring in, which at 23 efficiency probably, you know, it's probably bringing in 120 watts or something like that. And it's a 200 watt panel, but that's what you're looking for efficiency wise. It'll get higher than that. It could get up to 150, 160 watts, but that's pretty good at probably what it's doing right now. I'm not testing it, so I don't know. I haven't had anything hooked up to it. But that's the app. Again, I'll list it down below in the video, what it's called. You can go to the Play Store and download it. I don't know if they have it on Apple. If not, they probably have something similar, but I think they probably have it also. It's called Optimal Tilt. It seems like it works pretty good. So I used a different one before, but they don't have it any longer. I think you just can do it. So this one I found seems pretty good. It comes in a free version. You can get a paid version, which has some more bells and whistles, but for what we're doing, we're just trying to get the angle, so I don't know why you would need that. So again, just going to add that on to the video. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to subscribe and follow the channel, hit that subscribe button. If you like the video and what we're doing, please hit that thumbs up for me. You can hit the bell, that'll notifications and everything. I like to repeat that, so that way you know when we upload new videos and stuff, so you can come check them out. And again, any comments or ideas or questions, listen down below and I'll try to answer everything. All right, thanks folks, have a good weekend.